Burris. Randy Graham.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Lukens.
Here.
Craig Romey.
Present.
Gary Telkamp.
Here.
Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remember, council, if you have a conflict of interest, please let the rest of the council know before you vote. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the August 18th council meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 18th council meeting. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the bills in between?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in between for $306,793.29.
Second.
Bill, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the current claims?
Make a motion to approve the current claims for $67,476.12.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And can I get a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit cards?
I make a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit cards,
Second.
$13,649.67.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to address the council tonight? We have a large public presence. Hopefully somebody would like to address the council. All right. We have two public hearings, one at 7:10, one at 7:20. Then we have a council update. Let's go ahead and pick off some of our standard business items before our public hearings. Can I get a motion to approve our personnel actions A through H?
I'll make a motion to approve personnel items A through H.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. So help me out, Misty.
We can do the second ordinance
Second ordinance? All
and the
right.
third.
Second and third?
And the second resolution, if we get that far.
All right, let's move down to our ordinances. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance item B? First reading of ordinance 1276.
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1276, the 2026 appropriation ordinance / budget.
Second.
Discussion? Once again, I'd like to thank council for the seriousness that you took this year's, or the 2026 budget, how you worked with each other, and were respectful of the different thoughts and different opinions about where we could save some money. It was a pleasure working with all of you. It went well. And we ended up in our first structurally balanced budget that I've been involved with. At least that's my memory. And that's been since 2016 that we've taken money out of savings to balance our budget. So having a structurally balanced budget is huge. Thank you, Council. Ms. T, would you call the roll?
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Gary Telkamp,
Yes.
Craig Romy,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance item C, a first reading of ordinance 1277?
I make a motion to approve the first reading ordinance of 1277, an ordinance revising Title III Administration, Chapter 30, General Provisions, 30.08, council meetings.
Second.
Discussion? JR, Gary, I believe this was discussed and a recommendation came out of admin finance.
Correct. We asked it to come forward for council approval.
So essentially, the only thing it does is change the meeting time of the council meetings from 7 PM to 5:30 PM.
Yes,
And this will be year-round instead of seasonal?
yes.
Okay.
Did we have much input on the survey?
We had 29 out of all responded. Out of those who regularly or occasionally attend, we had 22. Out of the 29 total, we had 15 between the times of 5 and 6, and then we had 11 at 7 and 3 at 6:30.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I've heard it said over the years that 7 o'clock works best because it gives the public an opportunity to attend the meetings. I've been doing this since 2016, and typically we see the same individuals at the meetings. I don't see a huge presence of the public making it at 7 o'clock. It works better for city staff. Rather than sitting around for 2 hours trying to figure out what they're going to do until a council meeting shows up. And with this first reading, once the public hears more about it, they'll have an opportunity for the second reading if they really feel that it's not the right decision to make. But just from the public that's attended, I don't see how this would significantly impact the folks that routinely show up. Those are my thoughts. Anyone else? Ms. T, would you call the roll?
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Gary Telkamp,
Yes.
Craig Romy,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
The motion passes. All right, we're rolling up on 7:09, so I'll just take a brief pause here till we get to our first public hearing.
What's our start time for the first 5:30 council meeting?
It'll be another 2 weeks before we have our second hearing, and then if it passes at the second hearing, it'll be 20 days after that.
Publication, after it's published.
After publication. So JR's question is, when do you see the next, if it's passed, the first city council meeting that would be at 5:30?
It would be the first meeting in November, which would be the 3rd.
Just for those curious minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me sit there and count the days. That gets us to the 7:10, I bet.
All right, we're at 7:10. Our first public hearing is to consider vacation of right-of-way application from John Haskovitz to vacate the following described unused portion of a right-of-way on North 25th Street, subject to any easements of record. Requested area to be vacated is within the remainder of lots 23 and 24, Block 8, and a portion of North 25th Street between the remainder of Lot 24, Block 8, and Lot 13, Block 3, all of Grandview Place addition to Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota. Anybody here from the public who would like to speak to this? Deborah, Jacqueline, what's P&Z's opinion on this?
Mr. Haskovitz owns the property on both sides of this street, and the street was never put in, I believe, because there's a big, huge chunk of gypsum rock mountainside that the plat actually has an arch of the road going around the tip of that, so it was never developed. And so planning and zoning agreed, as long as there was an easement for the water main and any other utilities that goes through that area, 10 foot on either side of it, should it need to be worked on, that it wouldn't be a problem for this to go forward.
Council, any questions? All right, let's go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:12. So our next public hearing is related to our first ordinance.
You can do all your resolutions, so.
Did Amber say whether she was going to be with us or not?
She was supposed to be here. She did provide me a printed copy of the report. I could read it off, or we could wait for her.
Let's go ahead and give her a chance to show up. All right. Let's move on to our resolutions then. Get a motion on our first resolution, item A, Resolution 2025-19.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-19, a resolution to vacate the unused portion of a right-of-way on North 25th Street, requested by Haskovitz.
Second.
Discussion?
Now, is there going to be something in there in case there is work on the, because I never read anything on the pipelines or anything,
There is a water main there presently.
but don't say nothing in here about having a,
It does say reserving any easements and right-of-ways presently
It does?
existing in said street for public utility in the now therefore be it resolved section at the very bottom. Start on the
okay,
third.
I have no question. If I put my glasses on, I do.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Our next resolution, item B, can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-20?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-20, a resolution to surplus city property of unused pickleball court resurfacing material.
I'll second that.
Linda?
Gary seconded.
Linda made the motion, Gary seconded.
Thank you.
Okay. So is there an expiration date on this stuff?
They did say that it's already a year old, and after about 2 years, it's not really stable for application. So
Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The The motion passes. All right, on to new business. Can I get a motion for new business item A, a plat of Moccasin Springs, tracks 1, 2, and 3 of Second Minnetonka addition to Hot Springs?
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the plat of Moccasin Springs, Tract 1, 2, and 3 of Second Minnetonka addition to Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, formerly lots 1 and 2 of Block 28, outlot number 1, lots 1 through 6 of Block 24, and lots 24 through 27 of Block 23, all of Second Minnetonka addition.
Second.
Linda? Discussion?
I thought we already did this.
The last time we just approved that far left 2 lots to be changed, different zoning. Because it got missed in 2002 when everything else got changed over.
No, you're replatting, it's different.
She had to go through that step before she could get to this step.
Okay.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion on new business item B, a plat of Van Scherel, tracks 1 and 2 of Block 10?
Make a motion to approve a plat of Van Scherel's tracks 1 and 2 of Block 10, Fargo and Prentice Edition of the town, now City of Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, formerly lots 13 through 18, Block 10.
Second.
Did you get Craig?
Yeah.
Discussion? Deborah?
P&Z approves this as well. This is up in the corner of Evanston and 16th, South 16th. I don't know if anyone remembers the little wind farm that was on the corner of this grassed yard area. It essentially, the whole thing is owned by the people that have the house, which is on the upper part of this plat. So I think they're just trying to make the lower tract a little larger in order to make it more sellable. Was there some other reason? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. And since they're making things larger instead of smaller, it all works out with the square footage requirements.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion on new business item C, approve a travel training request from Assistant Finance Officer Ariel Allison?
I make a motion to approve the travel training request from Assistant Finance Officer Ariel Allison to attend the Secure South Dakota CISA Incident Response Workshop in Rapid City, South Dakota on September 30th.
Second.
Discussion?
I'm sad that I'll be at the annual conference. This is a training that I'm really interested in attending, so I'm glad that you're approving Ariel to go. Thank you. She'll be good too. We're working on a plan, an incident response plan for cybersecurity reasons, and so this training will be very helpful because it's going to focus on the important parts of those kind of plans. So thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. I think we can squeeze one more in. Can I get a motion on the last new business item D to approve a travel training request from City Administrator Jacqueline Kelsey?
Make a motion to approve a travel training request from City Administrator Jacqueline Kelsey to attend the South Dakota Municipal League Annual Conference in Pierce, South Dakota, September 30th through October 3rd.
Second.
JR?
Yes. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. That brings us to our 7:20 public hearing. So we'll open the 7:20 public hearing to consider the request by Fall River Health Services and the City of Hot Springs Planning and Zoning Commission to amend the zoning map by rezoning FRMS Tract 1, located in the northeast quarter of Section 26, T7S, R5E, BHM, Fall River County, South Dakota, from no use to residential A. I see that Jeremy and Georgia are here. Is there anything you'd like to say to the council, or are you just available for questions?
Good evening. Thanks. Is this on?
Yeah, just put it closer to your mouth.
Can you hear me?
You don't have to turn it on, you just have to speak loudly into it.
Okay. How's that?
Very good.
Okay, very good. We are just here to answer questions and see if wasn't sure if there'd be anyone from the community that would like to talk about the rezoning, but we're just here to see if there's any questions involved. There was some discussion during planning and zoning, and we appreciated those comments.
All right. Anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? Is your process still moving along? Not quite where you'd hoped it would be, but...
It's still moving, so we have applied for a South Dakota Housing Authority grant, and we are still hopefully waiting to hear back about that grant for infrastructure, and should have that news in the relatively near future.
All right. And P&Z's recommendation?
Approved.
All right. So, council, if you remember, when we annexed the property, we had to put it into no use, and we couldn't leave it there for more than a year. We didn't move very aggressively initially, wanted to give Fall River Health an opportunity to get everything together and ideally create a planned unit development that you would bring in front of council. So this is just making sure that we get it moved out of no use into residential A within the time frame that our ordinances and the state say we have to. Hopefully we'll be having a discussion somewhere down the road to move it out of RA into a PUD.
It's been a learning process for everybody, I have to say. Thanks a lot for your help, you guys.
Of course.
This might be more of a question for Deborah. Explain to me what no use is and how we got there and the purpose of that.
Well, when we first did the annexation, that's what we brought it into, as no use, so that it could be taxed at a lower rate, I believe is the positive thing about that. But also, as he said, we have a year to give it a use. So that's the stage we're at the moment. So potentially we could be changing it to a PUD, which allows them to have different setbacks than what the city ordinances require.
So the city has a number of zones, residential A, residential B, mixed use, commercial, and planned unit development. The Mammoth site did a planned unit development, as Deborah just mentioned. It gives the developer a little more flexibility in how they want to develop that property over what a residential A, residential B would. So we didn't know where we wanted it for sure. We just suspected it would be in a planned unit development, but until that was presented to us by Fall River Health, we needed to have it in some zone, and the first one to put it into is a no use. Its use hasn't been defined yet, hasn't been approved by council. But we can't leave it there for more than a year.
Well, I certainly support any development for housing. Hot Springs, we're desperately in need of it, so I'm totally in favor of the direction we're going.
Thank you.
We have a lot of employees that come here and are still driving from Rapid City. So we want this to make it their home, and we're hoping the community will incorporate all of this so we can grow. Thank you.
This housing is just for employees only, right? No, it's for anybody in town?
No, it cannot, it is not just workforce housing. It's considered affordable housing. That's the intent of the project. And the hospital would potentially plan to own or secure some lots, but other lots would be released to buyers who would like to purchase lots to build homes.
How many lots are conceivably out there do you see in the planning stages right now as it stands?
Depending on the layout and the design, roughly probably somewhere around between 25 to 30 individual home sites. Then there would be another potential for about a dozen twin home lots. And then there is some property identified for multifamily housing or apartments. It's roughly 10 acres.
Encouraging.
We're excited about it.
So like I said, it's been a real big learning curve for all of us. And to begin with, we had a lot of plans that we thought we were ready to go right away, but those changed. And people are building huge apartments in Rapid City, and we don't have the ability to do all that here. But our goal is to get people so we can have them employed here, and especially in our hospital. But we have people that are coming as rented, a nurse, doc, whatever, you know, and they don't have places to live. They're driving from Rapid City.
So is the grant that you applied for, is that pretty much for like water and sewer? Is that what we're talking about?
It would be for infrastructure.
Okay.
Including roads?
Dollars. Including roads.
Including, what'd you say, Misty, roads?
Yeah, it would include,
Okay.
infrastructure would include roads.
Okay,
That's pretty expensive right now.
understood.
It's all expensive. It's horrible.
Is tax increment financing still a part of your plan to fund this project? Originally, when it was discussed, council was fully on board with recognizing that would be a viable means to help support this project.
That would be our request.
And to Craig's point, as far as, you know, who the homes would be available to, very early on, there was certainly concern that they would be, especially if, you know, the city would approve a TIF, that they would then only go to Fall River Health employees. So thank you for recognizing the need for the community as a whole, not just Fall River Health employees.
Absolutely.
Do you have a hopeful timeline on this grant at all?
Yesterday?
Yesterday? Okay.
Yeah, we thought we would hear in August. We did get an update that it was still being considered, and the response was promising. So we should know, I believe, within about 2 to 4 weeks.
Am I going out there too far to say that it's encouraging then?
It is encouraging.
Okay.
Is this through South Dakota or through the federal?
It is through South Dakota Housing Authority.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good evening.
All right, we'll fudge up a little bit. Let's go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:29. All right, so we can go back to our ordinances. Our first ordinance, item A. Can I get a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1275?
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1275, changing the zoning designation of FRMS Tract 1 located in the northeast quarter of Section 26, Township 7 South, R5E, BHM, Fall River County, South Dakota, from no use NU to residential A, RA.
Second.
Discussion. Misty, would you call the roll?
J.R. Huddleston?
Yes.
Randy Graham?
Yes.
Deborah Johnston?
Yes.
Linda Varvel?
Yes.
Bill Luken?
Yes.
Gary Telkamp?
Yes.
Craig Romey?
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Congratulations. Well, keep thinking positive thoughts. All right. Looks like we've covered everything on the agenda, so that brings us to our committee reports. Our first committee report, Administrative and Finance. JR, Gary.
Admin and Finance will next meet on September 8th at 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Civic Center.
Thank you. Airport Planning Team, Bill and Jacqueline. Council, I talked with you at the last council meeting that we were making a change and how we were going to oversee the airport. And we're going to go from a airport advisory committee to an airport planning team that will meet 3 times a year. And the next meeting, their first meeting, will be October 1st, looking at 9 a.m.
October 1st or October 2nd?
October 2nd.
Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
Yes, October 2nd.
All right, October 2nd, 9 a.m. Time and location to be determined, I think. There's some benefit to getting away from the city for a little bit and going out to the airport. So as we get closer to knowing for sure, we'll let you folks know. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Craig?
Our next meeting's the 11th of this month, 7 o'clock, I believe. At least that's when I'm going.
Thank you. Historic Preservation, Deborah?
Historic Preservation meets tomorrow, September 3rd, 5 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
Evans Plunge Advisory will meet September 11th at noon at the Evans Plunge.
Thank you. Parks, Recreation, Beautification, and Cultural Development, Larry, Randy?
Parks and Rec will meet September 3rd tomorrow at 1 p.m.
I thought you said Larry instead of Linda.
Yeah, you did.
But
Did I?
that's fine.
Yeah, you did.
We can move on.
It's okay.
So our next committee report is Parks, Recreation, Beautification, Cultural Development, Linda and Randy.
And I got it.
I could second that if need be.
So I'm looking at Jacqueline because of an email that was sent out.
I didn't know if I should say anything right now, but I sent an email to Linda and Randy and the mayor recommending that we cancel the meeting tomorrow because there's nothing on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I think our computers are at City Hall. That's why we didn't get that meeting.
that's okay. Yeah, that would be my recommendation, though. If we want to go ahead and put that out now, then the next meeting would be
October 1st.
excuse me. Yes, October 1st at 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Oh, okay, you were going to change, yeah, no, okay.
The time is 1 p.m. now?
Yes,
Yeah.
going forward.
All right. I believe your computers will be available to you in executive session for those who are having anxiety attacks.
Thank you.
Bill hasn't slept since he left at City Hall.
Planning and Zoning, Deborah?
I can't draw up my email on my phone or on my computer, so I will give you the minutes, the last minutes at the next meeting, or our next council meeting, our next planning and zoning meeting, unless
Do you want me to
have
pull
them?
them
Okay, well,
Okay, we don't have to, but.
we can get them out of the way here. if we
Okay.
want.
Let me just. Here they are. Would you like to read them or would you like me to?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Thank you. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on August 20th, Wednesday at 6 p.m. at City Hall. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. Members present were Don Olsted, Christine Heidebrink, James Borbord, Wayne Hagman, Jason Heidebrink, and Alderwoman Deborah Johnston. Staff present were Mayor Bob Nelson, Jacqueline Kelsey, Wesley Foss, and Tracy Bastian. Public present were Tom Sweat, Chad Olsted, Jeremy Schultes, Randy Stombaugh, Gwen Stombaugh, Sean Lean, and David Doerr. Adoption of the agenda. Motion to adopt the agenda was made by James, seconded by Wayne. Motion was carried. Turn this up. Conflicts of interest. James declared a conflict on new business item number 1. Christine declared a conflict on new business item number 2. Public comment. Tom Sweat addressed the commission with an update on his business, Oliphant's Tea House, located at 13006 Fall River Road, Hot Springs, South Dakota 57747. He shared details about current efforts and long-term plans for the property, which include offering food, antiques, medical alternatives, and potential Airbnb lodging. He also mentioned challenges with parking and access, specifically concerning an existing access road off of Valley View Avenue, a city-owned street that appears to have been created without formal authorization years ago. Mr. Sweat is seeking a recommendation from the commission to the city council for a replat of his property. He was advised to bring the completed plat to a future planning and zoning meeting once it has been prepared by Anderson Engineering and confirmed to meet all applicable requirements per city ordinance and the zoning coordinator. Public hearings. Don Olsted opened the public hearing at 6:10 p.m. to consider a request to change the zoning designation of property located at 1201 State Highway 71, legally described as FRMS Tract 1, located in the northeast 1/4 section of 26 T7SR5E BHM, Fall River County, South Dakota, from no use to residential A. Present for the hearing was Jeremy Schultes, CEO of Fall River Health Services. Chair Olsted explained the requirements outlined in city ordinance, noting the annexed parcels must be zoned within 1 year of annexation. As the property was nearing that deadline and no PUD had been filed, the default zoning classification of residential A was proposed. Public comments. President of the Hot Springs Ambulance Services, Inc., Randy Stombaugh, Sean Lean, and Gwen Stombaugh expressed general support for the addition of housing in the community, but raised concerns related to proximity to the ambulance service operations. Specifically, Randy noted with the noise and lights from the ambulance dispatches, including concern for future residents who may be unaccustomed to these impacts. Randy also raised concerns about potential child residents, suggesting the city and property owner consider implementing measures to prevent access to the ambulance area in order to avoid risk of injury or fatality. Jeremy responded that the hospital has coordinated with both ambulance services and Lifelight, and that there are currently no major concerns being reported regarding helicopter noise or compatibility with neighboring uses. The hearing was closed at 6:18 p.m. A motion to recommend approval of the zoning change from NU to RA was made by Wayne, seconded by James. Motion carried. There were no old business items. New business number 1 was review and recommend the request in care of Kara Hagan of the replat of Moccasin Spring, tracks 1, 2, and 3 of the second Mendocata addition to Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, formerly lots 1 and 2 of Block 28, outlot number 1, lots 1 through 6 of Block 24, and lots 24 through 27 of Block 23, all of second Mendocata addition. No concerns were raised regarding the sewer stub-out requirements, as utility service is not necessary for the intended parking lot use. Christine made a motion, seconded by Wayne. Motion was carried. New business item 2, review and recommend the request in care of Patricia Van Scherel for the plat review and lot line revision of lot 17 of the Fargo and Prentice's edition of Hot Springs, lots 15, 16, 17, and 18, and lot 14 of the Fargo Prentice's addition to Hot Springs, lots 13 and 14, block Van Scherel, tracks 1 and 2 of block 10, Fargo Prentice's addition to the town of Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota. The request to move an internal lot line to better accommodate current and future land use. No utility concerns were raised. James made a motion, seconded by Jason. Motion was carried. For staff reports and updates, it was formally introduced, Tracy Bastian was formally introduced as the Public Works Director, and what his role and involvement will be going forward, and his increased presence at commission meetings. There were no committee or commission member comments. The next meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at City Hall. A motion to adjourn was made by James, seconded by Wayne. Meeting adjourned at 6:47 PM.
Our next meeting will be September 17th, 6 PM at City Hall.
Any questions for Deborah Jackman? Thank you. Safety, Bill, JR?
Safety Committee will meet Thursday, September 4th, 1 PM at the Mueller Center Conference Room.
Thank you. Public Works, Craig?
Tuesday, August 26th at 1 o'clock, we held a meeting at the Mueller Civic Center. People present, Dave Burris, myself, Deborah Johnston, Mayor Bob Nelson, City Administrator Jacqueline, Public Works Director Tracy, Water Foreman Jason, Wastewater Foreman Jason, and Jim Jones was present. Discussion about drainage and stabilizing improvement behind City Hall. Public Works Director Tracy Bastion shared about past design work done in 2008, information about the need for soil removal behind the building, determination of existing water damage needed for tuck pointing and sealing, and the construction of retaining walls to protect the building from erosion of the cliff behind the building. Additional design work and cost estimations will be presented in the future. Also, discussion regarding possible Deadwood Fund grant funding. No decision was done. This is part B. Reviewing practical plans on water and wastewater for application of the state water plan. Jim Jones from AE2S presented information on both the wastewater and water facility plans and are required for the city to have projects placed on the state water plan for future funding applications. The recommendation to the council will be to have the alternate 3 moving bed biofilm retractor, MBBR, be placed on the state water plan. Future information and discussion followed regarding the water facility plan. The recommendation will be to have all these items on the water facility plans to include pumping upgrades, new tank, new transmission line, and water main replacement placed on the state water plan. This will be the agenda item on the September 15th, 2025 City Council meeting. Public Works Director, no other items aside of new business as in code over there. Our next meeting will be 1 p.m. Tuesday, September 30th, 2025 at the Mueller Civic Center. Our meeting adjourned at 3:30.
Any questions? So for council, I would ask you to pay particular attention to item number 3, the facility plans that Craig talked about, the water facility plan and the wastewater facility plan. Once you have your laptops, Ariel sent you copies of both of those plans. They're very exciting reading. They'll keep you up long into the night. One is 87 pages. The other one, I think, is 118 pages. The water plan, AE2S has been working on that for a number of years for us. They did the water pumping test here a couple months ago to be able to complete that one. And then the wastewater plan, you funded that one a couple months ago. And we had the discussion in Public Works a number of months ago, recognizing that our wastewater treatment plant is failing. We put money into it to keep it going from year to year, but it is still an aging plant. It's not, its design limits safety, the gas from the wastewater treatment process, because part of that process is in the administration building, the lab building. That smell is always present, and new designs don't have that. It's caused corrosion to the electrical systems down there and other systems. So the plan is very comprehensive. I would ask you to read it. I'd also encourage you to work with Jim Jones and go down and take a look at our plan first. And then if you can, schedule some site visits with Box Elder. Tracy, Jim, Jason, and I went to Box Elder a couple of weeks ago. We also went to Sturgis, and we went to Powder House, I believe, up by Lead Deadwood, to see what new plants are designed like and how much better they are versus ours. The recommendation that Craig made from Public Works is to have both of these plans put on the state water plan. It does not obligate us to request funding for either of the plans, but if we don't have the plans on the state water plan and you want to move forward with one of them, it has to be on the state water plan. So I'd ask you to focus on the wastewater plan first. That one, council needs to make a decision. Do you want to go forward with seeking funding for that one? If the decision is made by the council to seek funding, it still has to have a public hearing for the public to weigh in on it. There will be numerous opportunities for the public to say, no, we can't afford this particular upgrade. So take a look at those. Become very familiar with the wastewater treatment plan specifically. It's the more expensive one.
It's the most needed one?
It is the most needed one. They give reasons behind that. It's a very comprehensive study that they did for us, and there's a number of alternatives that they looked at, and they explain why they are recommending the moving bed biofilm reactor for the city of Hot Springs. Again, I would encourage you to go down. If you haven't been to the wastewater treatment plant, even if you have, go down and see it again. You walk in there and you don't want to lick your lips. And when you see newer facilities, you'll understand where we're at with our plant and why we're asking council to make a decision and let the public know that our plant is at its end of its useful life, and something needs to be done with it.
And if you don't know where it's at, just follow the smell.
Who should we reach out to make an appointment to do all this?
Have to be her or her.
Probably.
You?
Yeah. To Craig's point, I would reach out to Jason, but the point is that we can't reach out to our employees individually without going through the city administrator or the finance officer. But I would think with their permission tonight, it would be okay for you to reach out and make those appointments.
We have your permission, ladies?
Yeah, I think it's a
You
good
don't need
idea.
permission to reach out to Jim Jones.
No.
Reach out to Jason, you said who else?
Jim Jones with AE2S.
Tracy would probably be better.
Yeah, Tracy could take you down.
Okay.
Still need permission to talk to Tracy.
I'd like to go. You want to go? Okay.
Box Elder, Sturgis, they're comparable plants to what ours would be. All right. Thank you, Craig. Southern Hills Golf Course, we made a change to that one. As far as the committee, they'll meet at the first of the year and then at the end of the year to see how well we met our goals that were defined with that first meeting. But Jason and Jill have been sending their monthly reports to Jacqueline and I. So I'll give you a rundown from Jason. Had 3 employees return back to school. They're troubleshooting a problem with the booster pump. They've replaced a check valve on it and a butterfly valve on it. They're still having problems. They've repaired 3 irrigation breaks. They trenched in a new wire to an irrigation station at the practice green due to what they believe was a short in the old wire. They've used a pressure data logger at multiple locations to help identify water hammer levels in the system. All greens have been aerated, required shutting down 9 holes for 2 days. This one's interesting. They declared war on bent grass, crabgrass, and poana found on the tees and approaches. They applied a liquid application of fertilizer to the greens after aeration to help assist with green-up. And they've met on and off with multiple Don Gannon tournament representatives to discuss course improvement projects. Jill from the clubhouse. August was an extremely busy month, as well as this first week of September, with several small groups or tournaments coming for annual events. They still have the Don Gannon tournament scheduled at the end of September. Financial reports indicate that we have hit the break-even point for the golf course and expect to exceed our year-end total sales of 2024. They've had 9,937 total senior pass holder public rounds. 40% of total rounds were played by season pass holders. And additional estimated rounds played for men's league are 1,016, and tournament group rounds are 1,069. So far together, a combined total of all rounds played for 2025 is 12,022 rounds. They also had a surprise inspection on August 25th from the Department of Health Food Service. They did an inspection. They looked at 44 items at the pro shop, the clubhouse, and they received a perfect score of 100 for that inspection. So congratulations to the pro shop staff for that excellent report. We haven't decided when the next full committee meeting will be. I suspect that will probably be maybe in October, mid to late October. Any questions?
That's pretty good to get 100. When we had our restaurant and they had surprised, you usually get good grade, but I've never got 100.
Is there any idea of the percentage of improvement, increase or decrease from the previous year as far as numbers of rounds?
We can ask Jill to get those to us. She can take a look at them.
Will do.
Any other questions? City Administrator report, Jacqueline?
I have nothing this week except for thank you for approving my travel training request. I look forward to being able to attend.
Thank you. Finance Officer, Misty?
I did prepare the monthly financial reports you're used to seeing, but please note that these are not the entire month of August. They're through the 28th. That includes your year-to-date profit and loss summary report. I don't think it got printed in color, but it's always nice to see the red get replaced by black about this time of year in many of our funds, and that's the case. Also, your fund summary report that shows the budget to actual. I draw your attention to the golf course to show you that revenue is almost 95% of their projected revenue for the year. It's great because their season's coming to an end, but it does show we did project a higher revenue than the year before, and they're meeting it. So that's exceptional for this time of year. Most of the other funds you'll see right where they're supposed to be, around 64 to 65%. You also have cash balance reports by fund for continuing to monitor the cash balance in all the separate funds. If you have any questions about any of those balances, be sure to let me know. And then the investment reports by institution and investment type. We were able to renew the Water Debt Service Reserve Treasury Bond for 4.082%. And then our next one that is maturing will be October 17th of this year, and that's our Evans Plunge Mineral Springs Debt Service Reserve. I'll be sharing the rates with you and making a recommendation for the renewal of that at a future council meeting. The 2026 budget appropriation ordinance was read for first reading at this meeting. It does reflect many hours of compiling, analyzing, planning, estimating, and deliberating, and it's definitely one of the most important documents that we do, or tasks that council takes each year. It defines our priorities, it sets our legal spending limits, and it forms the basis for the annual property tax levy. The format follows DLA guidelines, so we group general and other governmental funds by function while combining all revenues and expenditures and enterprise funds. I too am proud that we were able to balance the general fund for 2026. As stewards of public funds, we have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure every dollar is maximized, both in spending and in revenue collections. While this ordinance grants budget authority, a reminder, it does not pre-approve purchases, contracts, repairs, maintenance, or anything else discussed during budget meetings. All spending must follow federal, state, and local bid laws, procurement policies, and only occur if funds are available. Looking ahead, financial challenges remain as many funds continue to recover from spending associated with large capital projects. Careful, engaged governance will be essential in meeting these challenges for 2026. One item that was budgeted and will be considered at a future council meeting is the proposed retitling of the current assistant finance officer position to a deputy finance/public information officer to be effective at the beginning of 2026. This recommended change reflects both the evolution of the role and the significant expansion of responsibilities. The current title and job description simply no longer represents the scope of work being performed. From a succession planning standpoint, a deputy finance officer will provide essential continuity by designating a clear second in command, prepared to assume finance officer duties when needed. The public information officer functions strengthens the city's ability to communicate timely and effectively, serving as the primary link between the city and the public we serve. To clarify, the proposed increase of $5 per hour is to the position's top of step and is fully funded through the elimination of prior financial support provided to the chamber for their media coordinator. I prepared a spreadsheet showing the impact of the change on the wage scale at $2 to $5 an hour and the proposed revisions to the job description that I'll share at a future meeting. If you have questions or concerns regarding this proposal, I'd be glad to provide clarification prior to council consideration. As a reminder, not everything presented to you can or should be approved. Individually and in committee, you hold no authority to approve projects, expenses, or to change or waive adopted policy, resolutions, or ordinances, or to make any promises on behalf of the city. Collectively, however, your decisions have the power to impact the entire city, not just today, but for years to come. The city council member's main job is to represent the people of their ward and city, make local laws, approve the budget, and help decide how tax dollars are spent. Council members can risk exposing the city and taxpayers to unnecessary liability if they authorize items, including claims, outside of what the city is legally allowed to cover. Your responsibility is to steward public funds, which means responsibly managing taxpayer money to serve the community, following the law, and avoiding waste or unfair use. Sometimes these decisions are difficult, and good intentions fall short if actions create added or uneven costs or benefits to individual taxpayers. Requests for city resources must be weighed carefully. Most funds are legally restricted to specific purposes and should not ever be used for a private benefit. Approving one exception can set a precedent for future requests and create a legal or financial risk for the city. Remember, authority rests with the council as a whole, and your collective decisions carry a lasting impact. If you're ever unsure or uncomfortable with the facts of an issue or about city policy, ask questions so you can make fully informed choices. When making decisions, the guiding principle should always be what best serves the public interest. That's the responsibility entrusted to you. The 91st SDML Annual Conference will take place September 30th through October 3rd in Pier. This event brings together municipal employees and elected officials from across the state to network, learn the new and latest tips and trends, share best practices, and explore new products from exhibitors. This year's conference will feature keynote speaker Jim Olson, who's a former chief of counterintelligence for the CIA. One piece of advice for getting the most out of the conference really resonates. Municipal government is a lot like parenthood. You can't fully understand it until you're in the thick of it. There's a lot of on-the-job learning, and the SDML conference is the single best forum for learning about municipal governance in South Dakota. If you're interested in attending, please let me know. Jacqueline, I'm glad you're going to be able to make it as well. Thanks for all you do for the city. That's all I have in my report.
Any questions for Misty?
I just make the comment for those watching at home, we should probably tell them what DLA stands for.
The Department of Legislative Audit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want to read the update from the chamber?
Would you like me to read it, Mayor, or give her a chance to come to a different meeting?
I'd like to hear from her.
Okay,
Oh, if you'd reach out to her and ask her to attend our next council meeting so she can read that.
I will. She said she'd be here, something must have come up.
Thank you for mentioning it, Deborah. Not for discussion tonight, Misty, but I'd like to go back to your first paragraph. About halfway through, while this ordinance grants budget authority, it does not pre-approve purchases, contracts, repairs, maintenance, or anything else discussed during budget planning. Just like to have a more in-depth discussion. I take a different view of that. So I'd just like to have a discussion on that. And we'll figure out when we can do that. All right. It's always risky when you start thanking people, large groups of people that help put an event together, that you miss somebody. So I'll recognize that I'm probably going to do a great job of missing somebody. But I do want to recognize all of the folks that put time into the Balloon Festival a couple weeks ago. That's an event that's growing. I think it has so much more potential if we can get the right people behind it to make it a successful event. But I want to thank the Chamber. I want to thank the balloon pilots. I want to thank Ivan at the airport. I want to thank Jacqueline for helping set out some cones on Saturday for reserving parking spots for the pilots for the night glow. I want to thank Billy and all the city crews out there. I want to thank all the city employees that helped put on that event. I want to thank Shrek for organizing so many different events in Centennial Park. Friday and Saturday, the balloons didn't launch on Saturday. It's always nice to see them go up, but we had skydivers this year and we had paragliders. I think overall it was just a very successful event. I want to thank Ivan Venner and Shane Miller for flying their private plane and dropping out the parachutes for the kids. That was very exciting. But I just want to acknowledge that I think it was a very successful event. And again, I want to thank everybody that stepped up and helped out with that. And for those that I forgot to mention, I apologize. There's just so many folks involved in that event. But thank you again. Any questions? Well, with that, let's get on to the most exciting part of the evening.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
No. Nobody can do that. Yeah.
That was most exciting for me.
Yes.
Make a motion, we go into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, 3, legal.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. There'll be a slight delay before we get into executive session for our attorneys, and there will be Say again?
The Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Amber Sierra, quarterly update?
She's not here.
She's not here. We asked Misty to reach out and have her at the next council meeting so she can give that update. So,
Thank you.
there will be no action taken after executive session. Huh? No. I don't know.